All right, this is it. Oh. Hello, how you doing? My name is Jason Conzo, and this is my application video for the 2026 IMSA Driver Development Scholarship Program. So, my entire life has been centered around racing. First started out in the Nassau Coliseum parking lot. Well, when it was just me and my dad throwing the go-kart in the back of a minivan, messing around with some good people, having good times, really just doing local regional racing. But eventually you learn that, that's not enough and there's always something bigger out there. So once we found Oakland Valley Race Parkway, we were hooked. Now, this is just a small go-kart track just outside of Monticello, New York. This small go-kart track has seen some of the most intense racers and races that I've ever been a part of to this day. To give you an idea, about 15 to 20 of the 30 reoccurring racers made their way into some form of semi or professional car racing. So needless to say, this is where we really broke down the sport, and I learned how to love the sport I was in. Whether it was learning how to drive, learning tracks, learning more finer aspects of racing. Some of the highlights actually was being able to share a tent with Santino Ferrucci. Getting advice from his dad was something that I will never, ever forget to this day. And some stuff that still helps me out in some wet weather racing. Well, as much as I loved karting, I knew that there was always something more out there. And I originally got the opportunity with my good friend who's done some IMSA racing now, Evan Slater. And he gave me the opportunity to test out a car on a racetrack. As soon as I got belted in and out on track, forget about it. I knew that the only way to go was up from here. With that confidence and that speed, my second time ever out, I was within 0.3 of the track record, and I realized that all of the effort and all of the skill that I've been gathering actually materialized, into something real, and I knew that, we had to keep going with this. What followed was doing some regional racing with the SCCA. I learned how to adapt to new tracks that I just got to in the first time. I learned how to talk to the other racers and officials. I learned how to keep my clean racecraft that I learned in karting. And, I won races, I won championships, and I realized that, we have something here. Eventually, I was able to move on to this, the Formula Enterprise 2 car that the SCCA runs, where I still run to this day. And I picked up even more racecraft, more race wins, some track records. I even was able to make my way over to England, where I got to race in GB4. I was over in Donington, Snetterton, even Silverstone. Some championship wins, and a great time with some great allies and people that I will keep for the rest of my racing journey. Some really, really close connections that have helped me to this day. Being in the car is a feeling like no other. Whether on or off track, it's important to always bring a focus, a discipline, and most importantly, a willingness to learn. Every time you get off track, you take tips from your mechanic, your engineers, even what your own father has to say, and you adapt right there, right then. So next time you go out on track, or even the next lap in the same session, you can maximize your track time, and you can see what works and what doesn't. One thing I do press myself about is the fact that, I don't make excuses. I don't blame it on other people, because at the end of the day, your on-track performance is based on you and your driving. And if you didn't like the setup, well, then you should have gave some better feedback on how the car was doing and ways you can squeeze out, a 10th here, a 10th there. One thing I've learned is that there's always room for improvement. There's always room to get faster. And if you're not a student mindset, and if you're not willing to learn, forget about it. What do you think you're gonna do? Just do not. The scholarship wouldn't just accelerate my career, but it would multiply the work that I'm already doing on and off track. I could sit here and bore you and tell you about the sim training I've been doing, the cardiovascular, the gym. Working on this thing has got me some immense knowledge of the sport and how to work on cars. But I feel like with the guidance and support from a team and a program like this, I have full confidence that I can take my proven results in some lower levels and give some actual concrete results in a higher level of motorsport. I think what makes my story different than others is the fact that I don't have any generational wealth behind my racing. I don't have, a bunch of companies or a pipeline of sponsors that are willing to work with me. I mean, everything you see here has just been the product of a father and a son starting from the absolute bottom and never knowing when to give up. I mean, I remember when I first started racing in higher level karting with my dad, and the name of the game, the goal was to not get lapped. And we did a lot of hard work and we didn't get lapped. We finished on the lead lap. And then we kept putting in hard work and we finished a top 15. And we kept fighting struggles and we got into a top 10. And then top 5s. And then our podiums. And then with even more hard work, we got into car racing. And then from maximizing our budget, we were able to get race wins and championship wins. And somehow we even found our way to some of the nicest, most prestigious racetracks in the world, driving British GB4 in Silverstone. A father and a son, Italian Americans from Long Island that just go-karted in the back of the Nassau Coliseum parking lot, found their way to the most prestigious racetracks in the world just because we didn't know when to quit and we knew how to keep pushing forward. No matter how tough the road gets, there's always room for improvement and always ways to squeeze out speed and performance out of the car. I mean, one of his quotes, no matter how slippery the road gets, just keep moving forward. That passion, it doesn't just stick to the track, and that willingness to improve. It carries on as a brand ambassador. I know I represent myself and others and other people when I get out on track. And yes, it is sporting entertainment. You gotta be excited. Hey, how you doing? But at the same time, there's a level of respect and there's a level of inspiration that you have to carry. I've given tons of interviews. After a bad day of racing, I've needed to stand in front of a microphone and say what I felt or how I felt. And every single time, there is a way to be positive, there's a way to be inspirational, and there's a way to get not just other people or sponsors, but other racers on board with your cause and how you feel. Because at the end of the day, that's what we all want to do. We all want to have the ability to inspire other people and make them think, yeah, if I was able to do it, if I was able to do it, then why can't I? And that's one thing that really inspires me. Like some of my favorite racers. I mean, you talk about Esteban Ocon, you talk about Lewis Hamilton, you talk about a lot of these Fernando Alonso. I mean, a lot of these drivers that came from nothing. And you know what they did? They didn't know when to give up. And I feel like that's one thing I bring to the table. I believe that I do belong in this program because I can take my talent, my ambition, and my attitude to always be willing to learn. Just like how I've done so far in my racing prior. I watch IMSA all the time. I follow racing. I mean, this wouldn't be here next to me if I wasn't as committed to this as I possibly was. There's no race shop behind you at a frame. There's no semi-truck, in the driveway. It's just a father and a son putting as much work as they possibly can to get the proven results that they have. And I am so excited to hopefully get the opportunity to show you in person and show that these aren't just words and that this is my life and that why this car is sitting right next to me and that I can give proven results and become my own brand CEO and be a positive asset for the racing community and IMSA as a whole. Thank you. Hope you choose me.
Fantastic.